Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Arun Kumar, and in this video I am here in front of you to pick up another topic for AZ-900 certification, and uh, that topic is this one: describe migration options including Azure Migrate and Azure Data Box. So today we will try to focus on what is Azure Migrate and what is Azure Data Box. These are two important ways for migration. So when we are talking about migration, it's not about only data migration option. It's about any web app migration, or it may be any web app migration as well. Okay, it may be many kind of migration. So let's get into this and let's see what are these two things, Azure Migrate and Azure Data Box. So let me tell you this. Let me come to this documentation, and this documentation contains two topics. One is Azure Migrate, and another one is Azure Data Box. When we talk about this Azure Migrate, then this Azure Migrate is a service which is used to migrate from on-premise environment to on-cloud. Okay, that's what here it is writing. Azure Migrate is a service that helps you to migrate from on-premise environment to the cloud. So with the help of this Azure Migrate service, we migrate from on-premise environment to cloud. It may be data or it may be any web application. So any kind of migration can take place using this Azure Migrate service. So many kind of it basically it has been bifurcated. I mean it basically contains three major parts. The first one is unified migration platform. It is a single portal to start, run, and track or migration to Azure. From this portal only, you can start your migration, you can run your migration, and you can track the status of your migration. There are a range of tools present in this Azure Migrate service. If I talk about the range of tools, then we have something called Azure Migrate. This is used for server migration, and this is used for server migration, and we have many softwares if you want to migrate that. So that migration we can do with the help of Azure Migrate. Here it is writing, right? Azure Migrate also integrates with other Azure services and tools with independent software vendor offerings, ISV offerings. It means any third party software vendors are there. With them also there is integration with this Azure Migrate service, which is useful while doing migration. Now we have something called assessment and migration. So before migration, you try to access your on-premise infrastructure, on-premise data, or on-premise application. So that assessment can also be done with the help of this Azure Migrate. Okay, and after doing assessment, we can migrate that application or migrate that data. Now there are many tools that are integrated with this Azure Migrate, and those tools are Azure Migrate Discovery and Assessment. That's what I said. It discover and access access the on-premise servers running on VMware Hyper-V physical servers in preparation to migration for Azure. Okay, if any of the on-premise servers are running like VMware Hyper-V physical servers, then it do the assessment to migrate it to Azure cloud. There are many other integrated tools like Azure Database Migration. This is used for on-premise database migration to Azure VMs running SQL servers. Then we have something called Azure App Service Migration Assistant. This is used for migration of any websites, okay? Any on-premise websites to Azure App Service. Azure App Service is a separate service in which websites can be hosted. So if you want to migrate any website for that purpose also, we can use this Azure Migrate service. Then we have something called Azure Data Box. So for Azure Data Box, we have a separate topic. So Azure Data Box is a physical, I mean, you can say physical device with the help of which data can be migrated to Azure Cloud from on-premise or from Azure Cloud to on-premise, whatever with the requirement. That migration can be achieved through this Azure Data Box. So it is basically recommended in places where there is very low network availability. It means the internet speed is not very much good, so that it can transfer heavy amount of data from one storage, one physical infrastructure to another physical infrastructure through network. So for those kind of cases, we have something called Azure Data Box. So this is a physical device, you can think of it as, okay, which Microsoft send to the vendor. And if the vendor wants to migrate data from on-premise to Azure Data Box, then they can do from on-premise to Azure, then they can do it through Azure Data Box, or from on-premise to any other on-premise, then also they can use Azure Data Box. So basically it is, you can think of it like pen drive. Like pen drive is used to insert the device into laptop, copy the data and move it to any other, and insert that pen drive in another device and move your data to that another device. Similarly, we have something called Azure Data Box. This is a physical device and the maximum size of this Azure Data Box is 80 terabytes. Generally, it is recommended, this Azure Data Box is recommended for movement of data having size more than 40 terabytes. Okay, let me repeat this line that Azure Data Box has capacity of 80 terabytes. Here it is writing a storage capacity of 80 terabytes, and it is suited for transport data sizes larger than 40 terabytes. So as I said, from on-premise to Azure or from Azure to on-premise, in both the cases we can use this Azure Data Box. So there are various scenarios in which Azure Data Box can be used. Like if you want to do one-time migration from on-premise to cloud. So in that case, you can use Azure Data Box. If you want to move media library from offline tapes into Azure to create online media library, if there is some video files or audio files in your offline tape and you want to move that to cloud, so for that purpose also you can use this Azure Data Box. Now we have something called migrating your VM farm, SQL Server and application to Azure. So for migration of SQL Server, VM farm, all those things we can use Azure Data Box. Moving historical data to Azure for in-depth analysis and reporting using SD Insight. So for moving any historical data also you can use this data box. Now we have something called initial bulk transfer. So suppose we have accumulated data of past 10 years, okay, and we want to transfer that, and every day new data is coming. So what we can do initially, we can do the bulk transformation using this Azure Data Box, and then we can apply the incremental load, like daily whatever data is coming, that will be loaded to the destination. So that kind of thing can also be done using this Azure Data Box. Then we have something called periodic upload periodic upload. So if we have regularly data coming into our source system, then we for periodic upload to Azure, we can also for periodic upload to Azure we can use this Azure Data Box. uh, so there are various scenarios where box can be used. If I talk about few scenarios, then the first one is disaster recovery. uh, okay, let's first of all talk about security requirement. So when you want to move your data, like few government have some security requirement, right? The data of government cannot be uploaded onto cloud platform or cannot be moved from one country to another country, cannot be moved from one location to another location. So for handling all those kind of security concerns, we can use this Azure Data Box. Okay, we can use this Azure Data Box for storing data or for moving data from one location to another location, or migrate back to on-premise or to another cloud service provider when you want to move back to on-premise or under cloud export. I mean, it's the same thing that I'm talking, that from on-premise to cloud or from cloud to on-premise, whatever you want to do, you can do it through Azure Data Box. Okay, so this the third one is this disaster recovery. In case of disaster recovery also, we can use this Azure Data Box. You see here it is writing in a typical disaster recovery scenario, a large amount of Azure data is exported to a data box. Okay, in case of typical disaster recovery scenario, I mean data is moved to Azure Data Box. Microsoft then ships that data box. Microsoft ships that data box from one location, and data is restored to on-premise system in short time. Okay, So these are few of the scenarios in which Azure Data Box can be used. So there are two things basically which I want to highlight: Azure Migrate and Azure Data Box. And the purpose of these are not just to migrate data. It can also be helpful to use uh, migrate website, as here it is showing, right? Azure App Service Migration Assistant. So that's all in this video. Uh, Stay connected with me. Uh, Stay connected with me. This Azure Data Box is mainly used. Let me tell you one more point, that this Azure Data Box is mainly used to migrate data only, but this Azure Migrate can be used to migrate data as well as websites. Okay, so there are many things that can be migrated through this Azure Migrate. So that's all from my end in this video. Stay connected with me, and I will keep on uploading more videos. So we are moving further towards the AZ-900 certification topics completion. Okay, stay tuned. At last, we will be discussing uh, some dumb question for clearing that AZ-900 certification. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay connected, stay happy. Thank you so much. Bye.